am right, tomorrow you are right, So nobody can pass a judgment saying that I am right and you should follow me, except Satyam Param Dhimahi. Krishna is the absolute truth and nothing changes in that topic. Rest is all relative, and so nobody can claim a proprietorship on that. That is all. A beautiful moving incidents happened in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's life. It is explained by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj in that 3-volume of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's lifetime. A very inspiring pastime. One of his disciples had cancer, young boy. He had cancer. And his body was deteriorating, he was becoming thin. So one day he went and asked his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He told him, Gurudev, I feel like I should go and meet my mother. My mother lives alone in the village and I may pass any time. I may leave my body at any time. So please grant me permission so that I will go and meet my mother and I'll come back. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur stubbornly said, no, don't go. That was like a shock for the people in ashram. All the devotees, disciples, including sannyasis of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they were shocked because Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had never behaved like that. He was very compassionate. And these kind of requests he will never deny. But that day he became very stubborn and said, no, don't go. And even in that boy felt very bad. One day, I'll just go to Calcutta, meet my old mother, and I will die. What is wrong in it? Then he kept quiet, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also did not speak anything about it. Then few more days passed, almost a month or two passed, and he became so weak, he will leave his body any time. Situation became so bad. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to him and said, now you go and meet your mom. Then it was like a shock for him. He can't even move from one place to another. He is bedridden and he is struggling to do even the basic things, and any moment he may leave his body. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no, you should go and meet your mom. And forced him, sent 2 devotees along with him. Then he got inside the train and went to Calcutta. And throughout he was thinking, this last moment I have left Navadvip. Very bad. What will happen if I leave my body in the train? I will not go back to Krishna. What will happen if I go to my mom and leave my body there? I was 24 hours thinking about Navadvip. Achoo, I left the holy dham. This is not a right time. Why my Guru Maharaj Ji? He was thinking Navadvip. His consciousness, this is what we are discussing. This is what Bharata was thinking. Dear. He was thinking Navadvip, nothing else. And he went and spoke to his mother, and there also he was just physically present. Consciously he was not present there. He was simply thinking, what will happen if I leave my body? What will happen? Navadvip. And on the way back in train, he left his body. Then devotees went and asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, why this strange thing? Why? Can you explain, Guru Maharaj, why you have done this? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, he went back to Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. If I had permitted him earlier, he was healthy at that time. He will go meet his mom. Mom may say that you may stay another few more days, and he has to oblige. And in the house they will speak to relatives, speak about all those things. And what if he leaves his body? He will be thinking about family, griham, and again come and take birth in the family. But now he was thinking so much about Navadvip, whether he is in Calcutta or Navadvip or railway station, everything is Navadvip for him. Then devotees realized. So here what was wrong became right, and what was right became wrong. It is relative. So that is all about in this material world, because people speak about so many things. I have never spoken a lie in my life. I have never cheated anybody. I was always righteous. these are all but meaningless. Because today it may be right, tomorrow it may be wrong. Right? Very strange thing. So that is how consciousness get involved. So he was so deeply attached, Bharata Maharaja, so deeply thinking about deer, and in that night, dead of the night, he tripped and he fell down, had severe wounds on his body, and what an arrangement by the providence. Exactly when he was about to leave his body, this baby deer came in front of him. Then he saw, he felt so happy seeing the deer, and he thought about deer, meditated on deer, left his body, and naturally he became a deer. Punarjanma, very dangerous. That's why Bhagavatam 5th canto says, when some of our relatives they die, never shed tears. Never shed tears. Tears, blood, semen, and sweat. These 4 elements will tie the Atma again and again in this material world. Tears, blood, sweat, and semen. These are the 4 things. They tie the Atma again and again and again in this material world. That is why we should simply sit next to the body and chant Krishna's name. That is why this one debt for Vaishnavas which we can never repay. If I leave my body, those devotees who are living with me, who are around me, they will come on that day, bathe my dead body, apply tilaka on my body, wear tulsi mala, put charnamrit, put the dust of Vrindavan, sit next to me and chant holy name and send me back to Godhead. Can we ever repay this debt? We can never repay. That is why this Vaishnava Khadam, whatever the debt, that's why we should never offend a devotee. Because he is going to send me back to Goloka. He is going to come and take part in that event. Maybe because of his presence, I will go back to Goloka. So, Bharata Maharaja unfortunately took the birth of deer. But one blessings Krishna gave him. He had a special capacity to remember what has happened in his previous life. That was a very special blessing he got. Even in all this calamity, Krishna gave a blessing. He could exactly remember, that is why we should give Krishna consciousness to our children properly, whether they take it up or not. Because many of our, we can see in devotees community, children, they are doing very good. They attend Mangalarti, chant Brahma Samhita, sing shlokas, do everything. Boys, when they turn 13, girls, they turn 13, 14, 15. You will see them completely going away from Krishna consciousness. Hardly they chant, hardly they show interest. Don't get disappointed. Don't get disappointed. Just make the ground always favorable and don't get angry with them because they are not practicing. Patiently make the facility, arrange the ground all the time, because at some point of time they will come back. Krishna will give that memory. I am the source of remembrance, Krishna says. He will give that memory at the right time. Maybe they will become 30 years old, 35, they got married, they have children, and when some calamity, some kind of a challenge comes in their life, they will get back to the position. So arrange the facility. So this was a blessing for Bharata Maharaja, that he could remember everything from his previous life. So he took birth as a deer, and Shukdev Maharaj is explaining, when he was a baby deer, when Bharata Maharaja was a baby deer, purposely ran from his family, left his family, and he went to the same place, the bank of Gandaki river. The deer went to the same place, went to the same Pulaha Rishi's ashram. Amazing. It just shows how much memory the deer has got. The deer went back to the same place. He moved to the same ashram, same location, and same place where he did that, because he wanted to remember that mistake again and again and again. He doesn't want to forget it, because once he had gone through that. So he went to the same place, Gandaki river's bank, same this thing and going around in the same area, and he was remembering, and he was not even feeding on the green grass. He was eating dry grass simply to maintain this body. That is all. That is all. Simply selecting the dry grass and eating. He was not even eating on the green grass. There is a beautiful shloka in Ayurveda which says, for example, Nitai Nateshwar Prabhu is here, blue color t-shirt, all nicely worn. So, the first 2 roti you eat is for yourself. The third and fourth roti you eat, it is for the doctor's benefit. There is a beautiful shloka in Ayurveda. What we eat initially is for our benefit. What you eat later is for doctor's benefit. I hope you understood. Right? Yeah. So, this deer was eating dry grass, not even proper green grass. He was searching for dry grass and feeding on the dry grass simply to maintain his body, nothing else. And his consciousness was so refined. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha guru nandana bahushaka hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. His resolute, fine, refined intelligence, and that intelligence is called prajna. Madhvacharya's childhood name was Purna Prajna. Prajna. Intelligence has got 4 stages like buddhi, viveka, sumedha, and prajna. 4 stages. Buddhi is a normal one, and higher one is viveka. In the stage of viveka, we can discriminate what is right and wrong. Sumedha, focusing on spiritual life, that is the perfect intelligence which focus on medhavi. We say people medhavi, sumedha. Then prajna, it will never deviate from spirituality. So that is a refined, resolute intelligence. And you can see from Acharya's life. Shankaracharya put his feet inside crocodile's mouth and said, Mama, if you grant me permission to take sannyas, maybe the crocodile will leave. You can see, at this situation also he is thinking about that renunciation. So this is prajna. This stage of intelligence is called prajna, and Madhvacharya is called Purna Prajna. So Bharata Maharaja in the form of deer had such a refined, resolute intelligence. He said, my focus is only Krishna and nothing else.